Welcome to Beginning Guitar with Stubby the Old Guy. This lesson 4, is using the G major chord. And if you watch these other series, you know that what we're talking about is pattern recognition. What we're talking about is using first position chords repeatedly up and down the neck to get different sounds, possibly even different keys, even changing from major to minor, all using the same fingering as found in that first position. We did lesson 1 C major, lesson 2 D major, lesson 3 F major, and today is G major. Now, let's start. Let me make sure you understand. This is for beginning guitarists. It's somebody in the early phase of understanding chords and changing chords, everything in the first position. You have a book. Of course, you have a guitar. We hope you have an instructor, a local instructor, someone that works with you and is going down the path with you the way you want to do it. So that's our assumption. A big disclaimer, and will be obvious and more obvious in this segment, this lesson than others. This is not about chord theory. This is not about music theory. It's not about a specific song. It's about pattern recognition. Let's look at how we make the G chord. This is probably a review for most of you. I finger by putting my ring finger on the first string, 3rd fret. My index finger gets on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and my middle finger gets to nail down the last string, the 6th string, at the 3rd fret. The rest are open. That's a standard G chord. And I will use this G chord when I'm playing country or folk because that's its feel. But for a lot of stuff, I like to do this version. What is this version? These are going to stay the same. But down here, I'm going to move my ring finger to get the second note, which was open before. The second note now is going to be fingered at the 3rd fret. And my friend the pinky is going to be my freelancer and come in and backfill where we were with the ring finger previously. So we're keeping that, but using a different finger. We're adding that, and we're keeping these. And what's the difference? Well, this is the difference. I get that or I get this. Nothing wrong with this, but I like the drone potential of that. Now in the G chord, like any other chord, we can move around and get different things. So let's start by moving these 2 fingers to here. That becomes that. Now the Stubby simplified chord identification method, what does it sound like? Well, it sounds like a C. Is it exactly the same C major that this is? No. But is it definitely a C chord? Pretty sure we can say that. Again, disclaimer, this is not chord theory. I'm not looking to give you the exact proper name you'd find if you cruise 4,400 chords and find it. I'm giving you a practical way to talk to the keyboard player, the bass player, the other guitarist. Well, I think it's like a C something. So it's just moving these 2 fingers from here to here. There. Now what is this? What does it sound like? Again, Stubby simplistic. It's an F something. Okay? Now Steve Earle used something like this in his song Feeling Alright. All kinds of things can happen. The other thing I would draw your attention to is it's not as easy to slide into the 7th as it is in some chords, but the 7th uses these 2 notes, trades out this note for this note. To do that, at least with this hand of mine, I have to change how I finger these 2. Same notes are getting fingered on the 5th and 6th strings, but I'm now using these 2 fingers so I can get my index finger down here to get the 7th. Okay. Now let's look at dropping notes. So dropping and hammering give you different sounds. And now we're going to look at what we used in the opening song, a song of mine from ages ago called Lady L. And I used the G chord here here, and in the bridge I go to here. So what are these notes? What chords are these? Well, Stubby simplified method gets pushed to the edge of the strike zone on this one. It's a tough call, but I will say this is where this idea breaks down a little bit. What does that sound like? Well, it has a C chord sound to it. I'm not sure if you go to the book of chords, it's even labeled as a C. But to me, if I'm talking to my bass player, I might say it's something like a C because it's what it has in common. What does this one sound like? It's got something in common with the D chord, but for sure, this is not a D major chord like this is. Don't misunderstand me. This one has something in common with B flat. I'm barring that. We look at that starting in our next lesson. So that's the Stubby simplified method. Understand what it is, understand what it isn't. Let's look at the chart. We have prepared charts for all of these chords. And in the G major, we will see, for sure I want to draw your attention that those chords, it says B flat, and it says C, and it says D, and they have quotations. Again, Stubby simplified ID, not correct ID per se. But we use different symbols to show the first position, to show other positions, different symbols. When the symbols change, the position has changed, but the notes are still the same. Because, well, the notes aren't the same, but the fingering is still the same. It's all on that G first position. You haven't changed your fingering, but you're getting different sounds in different chords. Now we will look at the bottom part of this chart where we talk about and show some simple lead fills that you can use. We do the same thing on the other ones. If we're in G, we're going to start here. Of course, in C we started here, and in D we started here. So it's just where you start. Have some fun with that. If you double track yourself, or perhaps have another player in the room, it can be fun to be able to throw some of those in as fill. Now, let's talk about the motivation that you have for picking up the guitar. If it's to play with other people, and I think that's one of them, it's probably to learn your favorite song. But if it's to play with other people, let us understand that if we're going to play with other people, we can't play a busy part. We have to play a part that leaves room, okay? And so when we go out today, I'm going to be playing a song of mine, again found from the G pattern, and you're going to see me playing it alone, and then you'll hear over the credits, you hear the pan version. That's because you got to leave room, and I want to make sure that's understood. Now, we looked at moving these, and in my process of discovery, I moved these then. I took these two and I put them here one day. I went, I like the dissonance of that, and it was at the same time I was writing a song about Already Lost is the title. Kind of a downer song, the American Dream, I suppose. But I like that feel. Yeah, the chord, but I played it more like. So, till next time, happy trails, happy trials. Keep your learning in progress and keep your progress in mind. Already Lost. See you next time, music lovers. He was born in the middle of a middle-class dream, coming of age in a time of opportunity. The future looked bright from what he could see, but he was blind in both eyes to come to destiny. Next time. His parents were rich, they didn't seem poor. Never wanted money.